Most people who break the law know they're doing something wrong and choose to do it anyway. But these people went about their daily lives completely unaware they were committing crimes until authorities informed them they were lawbreakers. 1. A woman collected rainwater for her garden and discovered she'd been committing water theft for years. State water laws made collecting rainwater illegal without proper permits. She'd installed rain barrels thinking she was being environmentally responsible. Her collection system violated water rights laws dating back over a century. Authorities informed her that rainwater legally belonged to downstream water rights holders. She faced potential fines of thousands of dollars for her rain collection. Her neighbors had been collecting rainwater illegally for years as well. The law was rarely enforced, but technically made them all criminals. Environmental groups argued the law was outdated and counterproductive. She had to dismantle her rain barrels and stop her water collection. Her garden suffered without the supplemental rainwater she'd been using. The criminal water theft charge shocked her completely as she thought she was helping. Legal experts said many environmental laws contain bizarre criminalization clauses. She'd been breaking the law every time it rained and her barrels filled. Water rights enforcement had targeted her specifically after a complaint. Her criminal record now included water theft despite her good intentions. The case became an example of absurd environmental regulations. She never imagined collecting rain could make her a criminal offender. 2. A man discovered he'd been illegally practicing medicine for 5 years through his fitness coaching. His nutrition advice technically constituted unauthorized medical practice under state law. He'd been giving dietary recommendations to gym clients routinely. State medical boards considered detailed nutrition plans to be medical advice. His fitness certifications didn't authorize the level of guidance he'd been providing. Clients had improved their health following his suggestions successfully. Authorities informed him he'd been practicing medicine without a license. The legal boundary between fitness advice and medical practice was unclear. He faced potential criminal charges and substantial fines for his coaching. His business had to drastically change what services he could legally offer. Many fitness trainers were unknowingly breaking the same laws daily. The regulations were designed to protect medical practice boundaries. He'd never considered his nutrition guidance to be medical practice. Medical licensing boards received complaints triggering their investigation into him. His criminal violation was discovered during a routine business license review. Legal fees defending against the charges exceeded his annual income. The case highlighted how professional licensing laws can criminalize helpful advice. He'd helped dozens of people improve their health while unknowingly breaking laws. 3. A teacher found out she'd been violating copyright law with every lesson she taught. Her classroom materials included copyrighted content used without proper licensing. Educational fair use exceptions were narrower than she'd understood them to be. Digital copies of textbook pages exceeded what fair use allowed legally. Her teaching methods had been criminally violating intellectual property law for years. Copyright holders could have pursued criminal charges against her personally. The photocopies she'd made for students technically constituted copyright infringement. Educational institutions often unknowingly facilitate massive copyright violations daily. She'd been trained in teaching methods that routinely broke copyright laws. District policies hadn't properly explained the legal limits of fair use. Her entire teaching career had involved daily copyright violations unknowingly. Legal experts said most teachers commit similar violations regularly without awareness. Copyright law in education contains numerous technical violations teachers commit. Her discovery came when a publisher sent a cease and desist letter. The potential fines for her copyright violations totaled hundreds of thousands. Educational copyright is criminally enforced despite being widely misunderstood. She had to completely restructure her teaching materials to comply legally. Her students' education quality suffered from the strict copyright compliance required. 4. A man discovered his hobby of fixing neighbors' computers made him a criminal. State electronics repair laws required licensing he didn't have for his help. His friendly computer repairs technically violated consumer protection statutes. Authorities considered his repairs to be unlicensed business operations. He'd been helping neighbors for free or small favors for years. Consumer protection agencies could prosecute unlicensed repair work criminally. His technical skills exceeded many licensed repair shops in the area. The licensing requirement was designed to prevent fraud and incompetent repairs. His unlicensed status made every repair he performed a criminal violation. Neighbors testified that his help had been invaluable and competent. The law didn't distinguish between free help and commercial operations clearly. He faced potential criminal prosecution for helping his community. Business licensing boards discovered his activities through a complaint. His repairs had always been successful with satisfied neighbors. Legal experts said Good Samaritan exceptions should apply to such help. The criminal charges seemed absurd for neighborly assistance provided. He had to stop helping people or face ongoing legal consequences. His case illustrated how occupational licensing can criminalize helpful behavior. 5. A woman found out her home baking business had been illegal for 3 years. Cottage food laws prohibited selling baked goods made in home kitchens. She'd been selling cookies and cakes at local markets successfully. Health department regulations required commercial kitchen facilities for food sales. Her home kitchen didn't meet commercial food preparation standards legally. Authorities could charge her with operating an illegal food business. Customers had never gotten sick from her baked goods ever. The regulations were designed to ensure food safety standards. Her baking had supplemented her income during difficult financial times. Commercial kitchen rental costs would make her business unprofitable. She'd researched starting the business but misunderstood the legal requirements. Health inspectors discovered her illegal operation at a farmer's market. Her criminal violation involved every baked good she'd ever sold. Food safety laws contained strict criminal penalties for violations. She faced potential fines that exceeded all the money she'd earned. Her baking skills were professional quality despite the illegal kitchen. The law made her a criminal despite her food being safe. She had to shut down the business she'd built unknowingly illegally. 6. A teacher discovered his vegetable garden violated agricultural regulations criminally. Zoning laws prohibited agricultural activities in residential areas specifically. His large garden technically constituted illegal farming operations. City ordinances defined agriculture more broadly than he'd understood. Authorities could prosecute his gardening as unlawful agricultural business. His garden provided food for his family and some neighbors. Agricultural zoning violations carried criminal penalties in his jurisdiction. The regulations were designed to prevent large-scale farming in neighborhoods. His garden was larger than residential gardening exemptions allowed. Neighbors had complained about his farm in a residential zone. Code enforcement discovered multiple violations of agricultural zoning laws. His tomato plants and vegetable beds constituted criminal activity technically. Urban agriculture laws contain numerous technical criminalization clauses. He faced daily fines for every day his garden continued operating. Legal experts said the law was intended for actual commercial farms. His food production made him a criminal under agricultural statutes. The case illustrated how urban farming can violate outdated zoning laws. He had to reduce his garden size or face criminal prosecution. 7. A man found out collecting arrowheads on public land made him a criminal. Archaeological resources laws prohibited removing artifacts from federal property. His hobby of arrowhead hunting had been illegal for decades. Every arrowhead he'd collected constituted theft of archaeological resources. Federal authorities could prosecute him for archaeological looting criminally. His collection represented years of walking public lands innocently. The artifacts were protected under federal archaeological protection laws. His intent was appreciation, not commercial exploitation of resources. Archaeological resource protection has strict criminal enforcement provisions. He displayed his collection proudly unaware of its illegal origin. Federal rangers discovered his hobby during a casual conversation. His entire collection was evidence of multiple criminal violations. Archaeological laws make no exceptions for casual surface collection. He faced potential prison time for his arrowhead collecting hobby. Legal experts said many artifact collectors unknowingly break these laws. His criminal activity involved every hike where he picked up arrowheads. The law was designed to prevent commercial looting of archaeological sites. He had to surrender his collection and faced federal prosecution. 8. A woman discovered her soap-making business violated hazardous materials regulations. Chemical handling laws applied to her natural soap ingredients unexpectedly. Lye and other soap-making materials were classified as hazardous substances. Her home production technically violated hazardous materials storage laws. Authorities could prosecute improper hazardous chemical handling criminally. Her soap was natural and safe despite the legal classification. hazmat regulations required permits she didn't have for her supplies. The laws were designed to prevent dangerous chemical accidents. Her small-scale production exceeded residential chemical storage limits technically. Fire marshals discovered her soap operation during a routine inspection. Her criminal violation involved possessing soap-making supplies at home. Chemical regulation laws contained strict criminal liability provisions. She faced potential fines for every batch of soap she'd made. Legal experts said the regulations weren't intended for craft producers. Her natural soap business made her a hazmat criminal somehow. The case highlighted how safety regulations can criminalize harmless activities. She had to get expensive permits or stop her soap business. 9. A teacher found out his backyard beehives violated multiple laws criminally. Urban beekeeping ordinances prohibited hives in residential areas. His hobby of keeping bees was illegal in his city limits. Each beehive constituted a separate violation of city ordinances. Authorities could prosecute his beekeeping as criminal nuisance creation. His bees pollinated neighborhood gardens beneficially. Beekeeping restrictions carried criminal penalties in his jurisdiction. The regulations were designed to prevent swarm problems and neighbor conflicts. His hives exceeded the number allowed even with permits. Neighbors complained about bees after learning about his hives. Code enforcement discovered his illegal beekeeping operation immediately. His honey production was criminalized under urban agriculture laws. Beekeeping laws contained numerous technical violation provisions. He faced daily fines for every hive he maintained. Legal experts said many urban beekeepers unknowingly break these ordinances. His pollination services made him a criminal under city law. The case illustrated outdated regulations preventing beneficial activities. He had to remove his hives or face criminal prosecution. 10. A man discovered his amateur radio hobby violated telecommunications regulations. His radio equipment exceeded power limits without proper licensing. Broadcasting regulations prohibited his radio transmissions legally. Every time he used his radio, he committed a federal crime. FCC authorities could prosecute unlicensed radio operation criminally. His hobby communications had been harmless to anyone. Telecommunications laws have strict criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations were designed to prevent interference with emergency services. His radio setup violated multiple technical transmission regulations. Radio enthusiasts reported his illegal transmissions to authorities. FCC enforcement discovered numerous violations in his broadcasting. His amateur radio use constituted ongoing criminal activity. Broadcasting laws criminalize even harmless, unauthorized transmissions. He faced substantial fines for every illegal transmission made. Legal experts said licensing requirements exist for good reasons. His hobby made him a telecommunications criminal unknowingly. The case highlighted strict federal communications law enforcement. He had to stop broadcasting or obtain proper licensing. 11. A woman found out her child's lemonade stand violated business regulations. Operating without proper licensing made the stand criminally illegal. Health permits were required for any food service operation. Her daughter's summer project was technically an illegal business. Authorities could prosecute unlicensed food sales criminally. The lemonade stand had been a childhood tradition for years. Business licensing laws don't exempt children's activities explicitly. The regulations were designed to ensure food safety standards. Her daughter's lemonade had never caused any health issues. Health inspectors shut down the stand, citing multiple violations. The criminal business operation involved every cup of lemonade sold. Food service laws contained strict criminal liability provisions. She faced potential fines for her daughter's entrepreneurial efforts. Legal experts said the law seemed ridiculous applied to kids. Her daughter's lemonade stand made them criminals somehow. The case became a viral example of regulatory overreach. She had to explain to her daughter why helping was illegal. 12. A teacher discovered lending books to friends violated copyright law. First sale doctrine didn't cover digital book lending legally. His e-book sharing technically constituted copyright infringement criminally. Every book he'd lent digitally was a separate criminal violation. Copyright holders could prosecute unauthorized digital distribution. His book sharing was the same as traditional library lending. Digital rights management laws criminalized circumventing copy protections. The regulations protect intellectual property in the digital age. His lending had introduced friends to books they later purchased. Publishers' lawyers sent cease and desist letters about his sharing. His digital library lending constituted criminal copyright violation. Intellectual property laws contained criminal enforcement provisions. He faced potential fines for every book he'd shared. Legal experts debated whether such lending should be criminal. His generous book sharing made him a copyright criminal. The case highlighted tensions between sharing and digital rights. He had to stop sharing books with friends legally. 13. A man found out his sidewalk repair made him a criminal. Municipal regulations prohibited unauthorized infrastructure work. His concrete work technically violated city construction codes. Repairing his own sidewalk required permits he didn't obtain. Authorities could prosecute unpermitted construction work criminally. His repair improved public safety by fixing dangerous cracks. Construction permitting laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations ensure work meets safety standards properly. His sidewalk repair was better quality than city work. Building inspectors discovered his unpermitted construction project. His home improvement constituted criminal construction code violation. Infrastructure laws criminalize even minor unauthorized work. He faced fines for making his sidewalk safer. Legal experts said permit requirements seemed excessive for simple repairs. His sidewalk repair made him a construction criminal. The case illustrated bureaucratic overreach in city regulations. He had to pay retroactive permit fees plus penalties. 14. A woman discovered her garage sale violated sales tax laws. Operating without collecting sales tax made her a tax criminal. Every item sold without tax collection was a separate violation. State revenue departments could prosecute tax evasion criminally. Her garage sale was downsizing, not business operations. Sales tax laws don't clearly exempt occasional personal sales. The regulations ensure tax collection on all commercial transactions. Her garage sale had generated a few $100s total. Tax authorities investigated after a neighbor reported the sale. Her tax evasion constituted multiple criminal violations technically. Sales tax laws contained strict criminal enforcement provisions. She faced penalties that exceeded all money from the sale. Legal experts said enforcement seemed absurd for garage sales. Her downsizing made her a tax criminal somehow. The case highlighted technical tax violations in daily life. She had to pay back taxes plus penalties and interest. 15. A teacher found out his driftwood collecting violated forestry regulations. Removing wood from public beaches constituted resource theft. His driftwood art hobby had been illegal for years. Every piece he'd collected was stolen federal property technically. Park authorities could prosecute unauthorized resource removal criminally. His driftwood was already detached and washing ashore naturally. Natural resource laws prohibit removing anything from federal lands. The regulations prevent ecosystem damage and commercial exploitation. His artistic use had been completely non-commercial. Rangers discovered his collecting during a beach patrol. His driftwood collection was evidence of multiple criminal violations. Natural resource laws contain criminal theft provisions. He faced potential fines for every piece of wood collected. Legal experts said the law seemed excessive for beach debris. His art hobby made him a natural resource criminal. The case illustrated broad federal resource protection enforcement. He had to return driftwood or face criminal prosecution. 16. A man discovered feeding stray cats made him a criminal. Animal control ordinances prohibited feeding wildlife or feral animals. His compassionate feeding technically created a criminal public nuisance. Every time he fed cats, he committed a city ordinance violation. Authorities could prosecute him for creating animal congregation issues. His feeding prevented cats from starving on the streets. Animal control laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations prevent animal overpopulation and nuisance problems. His feeding was humane treatment of abandoned animals. Neighbors complained about cats gathering at his property. Animal control discovered his illegal wildlife feeding operation. His cat feeding constituted ongoing criminal activity. Animal ordinances criminalize even compassionate feeding. He faced daily fines for every day he fed cats. Legal experts debated whether compassion should be criminal. His animal care made him a wildlife criminal somehow. The case highlighted conflicts between compassion and regulations. He had to stop feeding cats or face prosecution. 17. A woman found out her dog's barking made her a criminal. Noise ordinances criminalized repetitive animal noise disturbances. Her dog's normal behavior technically violated criminal statutes. Every barking incident was a separate criminal violation. Authorities could prosecute noise ordinance violations criminally. Her dog barked at passing pedestrians normally. Noise laws have criminal penalties for ongoing violations. The regulations protect neighbors from excessive disturbances. Her dog's barking was typical for the breed. Noise complaints triggered criminal investigations against her. Her dog ownership constituted ongoing criminal noise violations. Animal noise ordinances contain criminal liability provisions. She faced daily fines until the barking stopped completely. Legal experts said criminalizing normal dog behavior seemed excessive. Her pet ownership made her a noise criminal. The case illustrated how pet ownership can violate noise laws. She had expensive bark training or faced ongoing prosecution. 18. A teacher discovered his chicken coop violated agricultural zoning laws. Keeping chickens in residential areas was criminally prohibited. His backyard chickens technically constituted illegal livestock operations. Each chicken was a separate violation of city ordinances. Authorities could prosecute illegal animal husbandry criminally. His chickens provided fresh eggs for his family. Livestock ordinances have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations prevent agricultural activities in residential zones. His chickens were quiet and well-maintained in a clean coop. Neighbors complained about his farm animals in the city. Code enforcement discovered multiple zoning violations on his property. His egg production was criminalized under urban agriculture laws. Animal husbandry laws contain strict criminal penalties. He faced fines for every day he kept chickens. Legal experts said many cities allow backyard chickens now. His sustainable living made him an agricultural criminal. The case illustrated outdated urban farming restrictions. He had to remove chickens or relocate outside city limits. 19. A man found out recording phone calls made him a criminal. Wiretapping laws prohibited recording without all-party consent. His recorded business conversations were criminally obtained evidence. Every recording he made was a separate felony violation. Authorities could prosecute unauthorized call recording as wiretapping. His recordings protected him in business disputes effectively. Electronic surveillance laws have serious criminal penalties. The regulations protect privacy in communications. His recordings were for personal record-keeping only. Prosecutors discovered his recordings during unrelated litigation. His phone recordings constituted multiple felony wiretapping violations. Privacy laws criminalize even personal call recording. He faced potential prison time for his documentation practice. Legal experts said two-party consent laws vary by state. His business protection made him a wiretapping criminal. The case highlighted how recording laws criminalize documentation. He had to delete recordings and stop the practice. 20. A woman discovered her firewood collection violated forestry regulations. Removing dead wood from public forest constituted resource theft. Her winter heating fuel had been illegally obtained for years. Every piece of firewood was stolen federal property technically. Forest authorities could prosecute unauthorized resource removal criminally. Her firewood was dead fallen wood, not living trees. Forestry laws prohibit removing any materials from federal lands. The regulations prevent ecosystem damage and commercial exploitation. Her firewood collecting had been subsistence heating fuel. Rangers discovered her wood gathering during forest patrols. Her firewood collection was evidence of ongoing criminal theft. Natural resource laws contain strict criminal enforcement provisions. She faced substantial fines for firewood she'd already burned. Legal experts said many rural residents collect firewood unknowingly illegally. Her heating practice made her a forestry criminal. The case illustrated how subsistence activities violate modern regulations. She had to buy commercial firewood or face prosecution. 21. A teacher found out his rain garden violated environmental regulations. Creating wetlands on private property required federal permits. His stormwater management project technically violated Clean Water Act. Every rainstorm that filled his garden was a separate violation. EPA authorities could prosecute unauthorized wetland creation criminally. His rain garden prevented flooding and improved water quality. Wetland regulations have criminal enforcement provisions. The laws protect aquatic ecosystems from unauthorized alterations. His environmental improvement project was beneficial, not harmful. Environmental inspectors discovered his unpermitted wetland during a survey. His rain garden constituted criminal Clean Water Act violations. Environmental laws criminalize even beneficial habitat creation. He faced substantial fines for improving his property's drainage. Legal experts said wetland jurisdiction rules were confusing. His environmental project made him an EPA criminal. The case highlighted how green initiatives can violate regulations. He had to remove the rain garden or obtain permits. 22. A man discovered his home beer brewing exceeded legal limits. Home brewing laws limited production to specific quantities annually. His hobby brewing technically violated alcohol production regulations. Every batch beyond the limit was a separate criminal violation. ATF authorities could prosecute illegal alcohol production. His beer brewing was personal consumption, not commercial sales. Alcohol laws have criminal enforcement for unauthorized production. The regulations prevent illegal alcohol manufacturing and sales. His brewing quantity exceeded the limit by a small amount. Tax authorities investigated after he mentioned his hobby online. His beer production constituted illegal alcohol manufacturing. Alcohol laws contain strict criminal liability provisions. He faced fines and potential criminal charges for his hobby. Legal experts said the limits were arbitrary and outdated. His home brewing made him an alcohol criminal technically. The case illustrated how hobby activities can exceed legal limits. He had to reduce production or face criminal penalties. 23. A woman found out her yoga classes violated business licensing laws. Teaching yoga without proper credentials was criminally illegal. Her community classes technically constituted unlicensed professional services. Every class she taught was a separate criminal violation. Professional licensing boards could prosecute her teaching. Her yoga instruction helped neighbors stay healthy affordably. Occupational licensing laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations protect consumers from unqualified practitioners. Her yoga knowledge came from years of personal practice. Licensing authorities discovered her classes through a complaint. Her yoga teaching constituted unlicensed professional practice. Professional licensing laws criminalize unauthorized service provision. She faced fines for every class she taught. Legal experts debated whether yoga teaching required licensing. Her community service made her an occupational criminal. The case highlighted occupational licensing overreach. She had to stop teaching or obtain expensive credentials. 24. A teacher discovered his mushroom foraging violated agricultural regulations. Harvesting mushrooms from public land constituted resource theft. His hobby had been illegal for decades, unknowingly. Every mushroom he'd picked was stolen federal property. Park authorities could prosecute unauthorized foraging criminally. His mushroom collecting had been careful and sustainable. Natural resource laws prohibit removing anything from public lands. The regulations prevent over-harvesting and ecosystem damage. His foraging knowledge ensured sustainable practices. Rangers discovered his foraging during a trail encounter. His mushroom collection was evidence of criminal violations. Foraging laws contain criminal enforcement provisions. He faced fines for every mushroom collecting trip. Legal experts said many foragers unknowingly break these laws. His food gathering made him a natural resource criminal. The case illustrated how traditional activities violate modern regulations. He had to stop foraging or face criminal prosecution. 25. A man found out his drone flying made him a criminal. Aviation regulations prohibited drone flights without proper registration. His hobby flying technically violated FAA regulations criminally. Every flight he made was a separate federal violation. Federal authorities could prosecute unauthorized drone operation. His drone flights were recreational and harmless. Aviation laws have criminal enforcement for safety violations. The regulations prevent aerial hazards and privacy violations. His flying was in unpopulated areas away from airports. FAA enforcement discovered his unregistered drone through tracking. His hobby flying constituted multiple federal aviation violations. Drone laws criminalize even recreational flying without registration. He faced substantial fines for every unauthorized flight. Legal experts said registration requirements were reasonable for safety. His recreational hobby made him an aviation criminal. The case highlighted increasing drone regulation enforcement. He had to register and follow flight restrictions legally. 26. A woman discovered her rock painting hobby violated environmental laws. Painting rocks in national parks constituted illegal vandalism. Her artistic trail markers had been criminal property damage. Every painted rock was a separate federal violation. Park authorities could prosecute unauthorized park alterations criminally. Her painted rocks brightened trails with positive messages. Park preservation laws prohibit any unauthorized markings. The regulations protect natural resources from damage. Her water-based paint was non-permanent and harmless. Rangers discovered her painted rocks during routine patrols. Her rock art constituted criminal vandalism of federal property. Environmental protection laws contained strict criminal provisions. She faced fines for every rock she'd painted. Legal experts said the law was intended for graffiti. Her artistic hobby made her a park vandalism criminal. The case illustrated how art can violate preservation laws. She had to stop painting rocks or face prosecution. 27. A teacher found out his seed sharing violated agricultural regulations. Exchanging seeds with gardeners technically violated plant protection laws. His seed library had been illegal under agriculture regulations. Every seed exchange was a separate regulatory violation. Agricultural authorities could prosecute unauthorized seed distribution. His seed sharing preserved heirloom plant varieties. Plant protection laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations prevent disease spread and protect commercial interests. His seeds were carefully maintained and disease-free. Agriculture inspectors discovered his seed library at a garden show. His seed sharing constituted unlicensed seed distribution. Agricultural laws criminalize unauthorized plant material exchange. He faced fines for operating an illegal seed library. Legal experts said the laws were designed for commercial operations. His preservation work made him an agricultural criminal. The case highlighted how seed saving can violate regulations. He had to shut down seed sharing or obtain permits. 28. A man discovered his metal detecting hobby violated archaeological laws. Using metal detectors on public land was criminally prohibited. His treasure hunting had been illegal for years. Every item he'd found was stolen federal property. Archaeological authorities could prosecute unauthorized detecting criminally. His finds were mostly modern trash, not valuable artifacts. Archaeological protection laws prohibit all detecting on federal land. The regulations prevent looting of historical resources. His detecting had been purely recreational hobby activity. Rangers discovered his metal detecting during a beach visit. His hobby constituted multiple archaeological protection violations. Resource protection laws contain criminal enforcement provisions. He faced fines for every detecting trip he'd made. Legal experts said the law applied even to modern items. His hobby made him an archaeological criminal, technically. The case illustrated broad archaeological law application. He had to stop detecting or face criminal prosecution. 29. A woman found out her herbalism practice violated medical regulations. Recommending herbs for health conditions constituted unauthorized medical practice. Her traditional knowledge sharing was criminally illegal. Every herb recommendation was a separate violation. Medical licensing boards could prosecute her practice criminally. Her herbal knowledge came from family traditions passed down. Medical practice laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations protect patients from unqualified practitioners. Her recommendations had helped friends with minor ailments. Medical board investigators discovered her herb recommendations. Her traditional practice constituted unlicensed medical care. Healthcare laws criminalize unauthorized health advice. She faced fines and potential criminal charges. Legal experts debated whether traditional knowledge should require licensing. Her herbalism made her a medical practice criminal. The case highlighted conflicts between tradition and regulation. She had to stop sharing knowledge or face prosecution. 30. A teacher discovered his pond building violated wetland regulations. Creating water features on private property required environmental permits. His backyard pond technically violated Clean Water Act provisions. The pond constituted unauthorized wetland creation criminally. EPA authorities could prosecute unpermitted water features. His pond provided wildlife habitat and aesthetic value. Wetland regulations have strict criminal enforcement. The laws protect water resources from unauthorized alterations. His pond construction had improved his property's ecosystem. Environmental inspectors discovered his unpermitted pond during inspection. His water feature constituted criminal environmental violations. Clean Water Act contains criminal liability provisions. He faced fines and mandatory pond removal orders. Legal experts said wetland jurisdiction was broadly interpreted. His landscaping made him an environmental criminal. The case illustrated how home improvements can violate environmental laws. He had to remove the pond or obtain retroactive permits. 31. A man found out his car repair hobby violated environmental regulations. Working on cars at home violated hazardous waste disposal laws. His home garage repairs were criminally illegal activities. Every oil change was a separate environmental violation. EPA authorities could prosecute improper hazmat handling. His car maintenance was careful and environmentally conscious. Hazardous waste laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations prevent environmental contamination. His used oil disposal followed all proper procedures. Environmental inspectors investigated after a neighbor complained. His auto repair hobby constituted environmental violations. Hazmat laws criminalize home automotive work. He faced substantial fines for maintaining his own vehicles. Legal experts said the regulations were intended for commercial shops. His self-sufficiency made him an environmental criminal. The case highlighted how environmental regulations affect home mechanics. He had to stop car repairs or rent commercial space. 32. A woman discovered her child's rock collection violated fossil protection laws. Collecting rocks from public land that contained fossils was illegal. Her child's hobby had been criminal resource theft. Every fossil-bearing rock was stolen federal property. Paleontological authorities could prosecute unauthorized fossil collection. Her child's rocks were common fossils not scientifically valuable. Fossil protection laws prohibit all collection from public lands. The regulations preserve paleontological resources for science. Her child's educational hobby had been completely innocent. Rangers discovered the collection during a school science fair. The rock collection was evidence of multiple criminal violations. Paleontological resource laws contain criminal provisions. She faced fines for her child's innocent collecting. Legal experts said the law seemed harsh for educational collecting. Her child's hobby made them paleontological criminals. The case illustrated how science hobbies can violate protection laws. She had to return fossils or face criminal charges. 33. A teacher found out his composting violated waste management regulations. Operating a composting system exceeded residential waste handling limits. His environmental practice technically violated solid waste laws. The compost pile constituted unauthorized waste processing. Environmental authorities could prosecute illegal waste operations. His composting reduced landfill waste beneficially. Waste management laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations prevent improper waste handling. His composting was environmentally beneficial, not harmful. Waste inspectors discovered his operation after a complaint. His composting constituted illegal waste management activity. Solid waste laws criminalize unauthorized processing. He faced fines for environmentally friendly waste reduction. Legal experts said the regulations weren't intended for home composting. His sustainability made him a waste management criminal. The case highlighted how green practices can violate regulations. He had to reduce composting or obtain permits. 34. A man discovered his historic house restoration violated preservation laws. Altering a historic property without approval was criminal. His careful restoration work violated historic preservation regulations. Every improvement was a separate preservation law violation. Historic preservation authorities could prosecute unauthorized alterations. His restoration preserved the house's character beautifully. Preservation laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations protect historically significant properties. His work increased the home's historic value substantially. Preservation inspectors discovered his unpermitted restoration work. His home improvement constituted criminal historic preservation violations. Cultural resource laws criminalize unauthorized alterations. He faced fines and mandatory restoration removal. Legal experts said preservation approval processes were complex. His restoration made him a historic preservation criminal. The case illustrated conflicts between preservation and property rights. He had to undo work or obtain retroactive approvals. 35. A woman found out her butterfly garden violated agricultural regulations. Planting milkweed for monarchs technically violated noxious weed laws. Her conservation project was criminally illegal somehow. Every milkweed plant was a separate agricultural violation. Agriculture authorities could prosecute illegal weed cultivation. Her butterfly habitat supported endangered monarch populations. Noxious weed laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations prevent invasive species spread. Her native plant garden was environmentally beneficial. Agriculture inspectors discovered her milkweed during a survey. Her conservation garden constituted illegal weed cultivation. Agricultural laws criminalized certain plant species. She faced fines for supporting endangered butterflies. Legal experts said milkweed laws were outdated. Her conservation work made her an agricultural criminal. The case highlighted contradictions in wildlife protection regulations. She had to remove plants or face prosecution. 36. A teacher discovered his stargazing telescope violated surveillance laws. Optical equipment capable of viewing neighbor properties violated privacy statutes. His astronomy hobby technically violated anti-surveillance regulations. The telescope constituted potential surveillance equipment legally. Authorities could prosecute possession of surveillance equipment. His telescope was only pointed at the night sky. Privacy laws have criminal provisions for surveillance equipment. The regulations prevent voyeurism and privacy invasions. His astronomical observations were scientifically motivated. Police investigated after a suspicious neighbor reported him. His astronomy equipment constituted potential surveillance tools. Privacy laws criminalize equipment capable of observation. He faced charges for possessing a telescope pointed toward houses. Legal experts said intent should matter in surveillance laws. His astronomy made him a surveillance criminal technically. The case illustrated how hobby equipment can violate privacy laws. He had to prove astronomical intent to avoid prosecution. 37. A man found out his model rocket hobby violated explosive regulations. Building model rockets exceeded hobbyist explosive material limits. His rocket building was technically illegal ordnance construction. Every rocket motor was a separate explosive material violation. ATF authorities could prosecute illegal explosive possession. His rockets were educational projects with his children. Explosive regulations have strict criminal enforcement. The laws prevent dangerous explosive accidents. His rocket building followed all hobby safety guidelines. Explosive inspectors investigated after someone reported seeing launches. His hobby constituted illegal explosive material possession. Explosive laws criminalize unauthorized ordnance. He faced federal charges for model rocket engines. Legal experts said hobby exemptions existed but were narrow. His family activity made him an explosive criminal. The case highlighted how hobbies can violate explosive regulations. He had to obtain permits or stop launching rockets. 38. A woman discovered her roadside produce stand violated business regulations. Selling vegetables without proper permits was criminally illegal. Her small farm stand technically violated multiple commercial codes. Every sale she made was a separate regulatory violation. Authorities could prosecute unlicensed agricultural sales. Her produce stand provided fresh local vegetables affordably. Business licensing laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations ensure food safety and tax collection. Her vegetables were high quality and properly grown. Licensing inspectors discovered her unpermitted produce sales. Her farm stand constituted illegal commercial food operations. Agricultural marketing laws criminalize unlicensed sales. She faced fines for every sale she'd made. Legal experts said small farm exemptions should apply. Her local food sales made her a business criminal. The case illustrated how farm-to-market sales can violate regulations. She had to obtain multiple permits or close down. 39. A teacher found out his night fishing violated conservation regulations. Fishing after dark was prohibited in waters he'd fished legally during daytime. His fishing trips had been illegal due to timing. Every night fishing session was a separate violation. Wildlife authorities could prosecute illegal fishing criminally. His night fishing had been productive and enjoyable. Conservation laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations protect fish populations during spawning. His fishing had been catch and release conservation-minded. Game wardens discovered his illegal night fishing. His hobby constituted multiple fish and game violations. Wildlife laws criminalize specific fishing times. He faced fines and potential license suspension. Legal experts said time restrictions were for biological reasons. His fishing timing made him a conservation criminal. The case highlighted how fishing laws have technical restrictions. He had to learn complex regulations or risk prosecution. 40. A man discovered his spring water collection violated water rights laws. Collecting spring water from public land constituted water theft. His natural water gathering had been illegal for years. Every gallon he collected was stolen water resources. Water authorities could prosecute unauthorized water appropriation. His spring water collection was for drinking water. Water rights laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations protect established water rights allocations. His collection was from springs that flowed freely. Water inspectors discovered his collection during a patrol. His water gathering constituted criminal water theft. Water law criminalizes unauthorized appropriation. He faced fines for every collection trip. Legal experts said water rights law was complex. His water collecting made him a water rights criminal. The case illustrated how traditional practices violate water law. He had to stop collecting or obtain water rights. 41. A woman found out her home daycare violated licensing regulations. Watching neighbors' children without licensing was criminally illegal. Her informal childcare had been unauthorized for years. Every child she watched was a separate violation. Child Protective Services could prosecute unlicensed childcare. Her care had been excellent with happy children. Childcare licensing laws have criminal enforcement. The regulations protect children from inadequate care. Her experience in facilities exceeded many licensed centers. Licensing investigators discovered her unlicensed operation. Her neighborly help constituted illegal childcare services. Childcare laws criminalize unlicensed supervision. She faced substantial fines and criminal charges. Legal experts said neighbor exchanges should be exempt. Her childcare help made her a licensing criminal. The case highlighted how helping neighbors can violate regulations. She had to stop helping or obtain expensive licensing. 42. A teacher discovered his genealogy research violated privacy laws. Accessing public records for ancestry research technically violated privacy statutes. His family history hobby had been illegal research. Every record he accessed was a separate privacy violation. Authorities could prosecute unauthorized information access. His genealogy had been personal family history documentation. Privacy laws have criminal provisions for records access. The regulations protect personal information. His research used only publicly available records. Privacy investigators discovered his extensive record searches. His genealogy constituted unauthorized information gathering. Privacy laws criminalize certain record access patterns. He faced charges for researching his own family. Legal experts said genealogy should be exempt activity. His ancestry research made him a privacy criminal. The case illustrated how family history can violate privacy laws. He had to justify his research legally. 43. A man found out his trail maintenance violated forest regulations. Improving hiking trails without authorization was criminal property alteration. His volunteer trail work had been illegal for years. Every improvement he made was a separate violation. Forest authorities could prosecute unauthorized trail modifications. His trail work improved safety for all hikers. Forest regulations have criminal enforcement provisions. The laws protect wilderness from unauthorized alterations. His maintenance had been beneficial and careful. Rangers discovered his unauthorized trail improvements. His volunteer work constituted criminal forest alterations. Public land laws criminalize unauthorized improvements. He faced fines for improving public trails. Legal experts said volunteer maintenance should be encouraged. His trail work made him a forest criminal. The case highlighted how helping can violate land management laws. He had to stop improving trails or get authorization. 44. A woman discovered her street art made her a criminal. Sidewalk chalk drawings were technically illegal vandalism. Her community art had been criminal property damage. Every drawing was a separate vandalism violation. Authorities could prosecute her for graffiti crimes. Her chalk art was temporary and community loved. Vandalism laws have criminal enforcement provisions. The regulations prevent property damage and graffiti. Her drawings washed away with the first rain. Police investigated after complaints about her artwork. Her community art constituted criminal vandalism. Property damage laws criminalize unauthorized markings. She faced fines for temporary sidewalk art. Legal experts debated whether chalk should be criminal. Her artistic expression made her a vandalism criminal. The case illustrated how public art can violate property laws. She had to stop her art or face prosecution. 45. And finally, a teacher found out his weather observations violated security regulations. Photographing clouds near military bases violated security laws. His meteorology hobby had been illegal surveillance. Every photo he took was a separate security violation. Military authorities could prosecute unauthorized observation. His weather photos documented atmospheric phenomena. Security laws have strict criminal enforcement. The regulations prevent intelligence gathering near installations. His photography was scientific, not espionage. Military police discovered his observation patterns. His meteorology constituted potential security violations. Defense laws criminalize photography near sensitive areas. He faced federal charges for weather photos. Legal experts said his scientific purpose should matter. His weather hobby made him a security criminal. The case illustrated how innocent observation can violate security laws. He had to stop photographing weather or change locations, proving that ordinary activities can make anyone a criminal unknowingly, demonstrating that legal complexity has criminalized countless innocent behaviors, and showing that understanding every law you might unknowingly violate is virtually impossible in modern society. These accidental criminal stories prove that breaking the law doesn't always require criminal intent or awareness. What makes these cases particularly concerning is that most people have probably violated similar laws without realizing it. The fundamental lesson is that legal ignorance isn't an excuse, but legal complexity makes it nearly impossible to avoid. Subscribe if these accidental criminal stories shocked you, and maybe research the laws in your area before assuming your activities are legal.